Let us go ahead and just have a seat to start. So find yourself, you can sit cross-legged or you can sit in whatever posture is most comfortable for you. So you can sit for a moment. We'll probably start and end in this posture today. So just go ahead and sit nice and tall, lengthening up through the spine, relaxing the shoulders down away from the neck, relaxing the neck, relaxing the jaw. Even though we're sitting tall and erect, we don't want to be holding tension. So take a deep breath in through your nose and then just open your mouth and let it go. Just to release. If that feels good, you can always do another one. And if you're comfortable doing so, you can close your eyes and just take a moment to pause. Mondays are kind of my favorite days to do yoga class because it feels a bit frantic. At least my day was pretty frantic. There's a reason the Bengals called it Manic Monday. So it's nice sometimes to just stop all of that, sit on your mat, and let go of that emotional tension, any stress you might have had from the day. Noticing how that manifests itself in your body, if you've been sitting at a desk all day or if you've been running around. Noticing how it feels in your knees and your hips and your back. And maybe you didn't have a stressful day. Maybe it's not Monday and you're watching this at another time. Whatever you've got going on in your life, just let it go for the next hour. And focus on your breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Beginning to regulate that breath. Each inhale as long as the next. Each exhale even longer. See if you can watch your breath as it travels in. Notice if it's going through one nostril more than the other. Notice it as it fills up your lungs. Imagine you can watch it traveling on your cells, energizing your body, your muscles. And then watch it as it exits. And if you'd like, you can set an intention for your practice today, where you could dedicate your practice to someone or more than one person. And you could also focus on one positive emotion, such as gratitude, joy, forgiveness, and allow your practice to feed that energy, that emotion. Go ahead and let your head drop forward. Just releasing your chin towards your chest, so you're still sitting tall, you're not rounding your spine. Just feeling a stretch in the back of your neck. And roll your head from side to side, ear to shoulder, giving a stretch. And then pause when you get to one side, it doesn't matter which. Letting that ear drop towards the shoulder, feeling the stretch in the opposite side of your neck. If you want a deeper stretch, extend the opposite hand. So if you're dropping your head towards your right, you're feeling a stretch in your left. Go ahead and reach your left hand out away from you on the mat, and you can deepen that stretch a little bit. And bringing the hand back to center. If you have it there, release your head to the other side, ear to shoulder. And again, if you want, you could extend the opposite arm, reaching it towards the mat on that side, feeling that long stretch through your jaw, the side of your neck, your shoulder, down your arm. And coming back to center, inhale, extending both arms up. Interlace your fingers, reaching up tall. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands behind you, placing them down. And as you tilt your gaze up gently towards the ceiling, flutter your eyes open, pulling the shoulders back. And then bringing yourself back to center. We'll go ahead and hinge forward. So walk your hands forward. Let your head release down. Rounding your head over. Take a deep breath. And walk your hands back up. We'll come back to this. Notice how your legs are crossed. Which leg is crossed in front of the other? We're going to switch them in a moment. First, open up your legs, extending them out, heels on the floor, toes towards the ceiling, knees towards the ceiling. Still sitting nice and tall, and just gently stretch here. Now you're probably really tight if you've been just sitting, no matter what you've been doing all day. You're probably quite tight unless you've been like doing yoga all day. So be gentle. Press your hands into the mat and imagine lifting up out of your hips and hinging forward. So you might be quite vertical here. If you're more flexible, you're aiming that abdomen down towards the mat. But try to avoid kind of rounding over here because it doesn't give you as beneficial a stretch. I want you to really target the inner thighs and that low back. Take a few breaths here. If it feels good, you can maybe point and flex your feet a few times. And then once you're out there and you feel kind of comfortable where you are, now go ahead if you'd like and release your head down and let your back round a little bit. Take a couple breaths there. Taking the time to extend the back just makes this a more effective stretch. And go ahead and walk yourself back up. Now the weird thing, cross your legs the opposite way. This one always feels awful. I do not like sitting with my opposite leg crossed in front. But find that. Maybe it feels fine. Maybe it feels the same. Maybe it just feels different but not bad. And then from here, go ahead and release yourself down, giving yourself a stretch on this side. I really should do this side more often, but it's just terribly uncomfortable for me. So I don't like to do it. And take some breaths here. Maybe walk your hands out and pull yourself out there. Maybe let your hands be close and just drop your head down. Just do what feels like is giving you the benefit that you want. It's not necessarily what feels better or worse. Just what you need. All right, come on back up. Come on over onto your hands and knees and find yourself in a downward facing dog. So, hands on the mat, push those hips up, jogging through, bending one knee, bending the other knee. So last week was more of a Pilates focused class. I kind of alternate on Mondays where we kind of will do 1 week that's a bit more Pilates, the next week maybe a bit more yoga. I don't keep anything on a strict schedule, but that's more or less what we do. In your down dog, we're going to do a few of these today. So I really want you to take a moment here to think about it. It's very easy to roll your shoulders towards your ears, especially if you're trying to press your chest towards your legs and get into a really deep down dog. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on your shoulder joint, your whole rotator cuff, as well as your elbows. What I'd rather you do is just sort of relax. You can even bend your knees a little bit. Roll your shoulders out away from your ears. Put a little bit of a soft bend in your elbows. And see if you can almost separate. What's up, Joelle? And see if you can almost separate your shoulder blades, pulling them apart. And what that's going to do is put the work into your back muscles rather than the joints of your shoulders. So see if you can find that. And always remember to come back to that. And now make sure you haven't let any tension come in. Nodding your head yes. And then shaking your head no. And then come out into plank. So hands are under shoulders, knees are knees aren't anywhere. Knees are in the air. Hands are just under shoulders. Belly button pulling in. If you need to or want to, you can drop down to a modified plank here where you're at an angle. So your decision, again, we'll probably do a few planks. You can always modify on your knees. I'd much rather you do a good plank on your knees than be here on your toes and be dropping through your hips and hurting yourself. And push back up, downward facing dog. See if you can press those heels towards the mat. Once again, make sure you're rolling shoulders away from the ears. Take an inhale and an exhale. Next time you inhale, come back out into that plank position. As slowly as you can, lower all the way down to the mat. Again, feel free to drop to your knees. If you need, bend the elbows, let the elbows hug your ribs, and see how slowly you can come down. Chest, chin, and hips. Release the feet onto the floor. Inhale, sliding the hands out, coming up into Sphinx. Forearms are on the mat, shoulders are rolling down and back, chest is lifting. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And releasing that down, slide your hands back under your shoulders, curl your toes under, and see if you can hug your elbows to your ribs and push back up to a plank. Might be easier said than done, that's okay. And press yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Extend the right leg up, pushing the heel like you're trying to reach the heel towards the ceiling, keeping your hips relatively square. You might tilt a little bit, but lower your leg and see if you can just keep your hips square, stretching that left or the right foot up towards the sky, driving the left heel into the mat. My favorite thing to do is the hinge forward. It works all sorts of muscles. So we're gonna hug our knee into our chest. You're gonna hinge out and hover over your hands, and then kick back up to that three-legged downward facing dog, and hinge forward again, out over your hands. Exhale to kick up, and hinging forward, and again, exhale to kick up, hinging forward. Last time, kick up, plant the foot down this time, rise up into a high lunge position, bring your hands to heart center. Knee over ankle, pushing through that back leg, trying to really lengthen that to create a stretch in that hamstring. Sometimes I'll see myself, and if I'm not thinking about it, that knee just sort of flops down and bends. The more you can activate, the more that you involve the muscle to strengthen the glutes, as well as to stretch the hamstring. Taking a deep breath here, extending the arms up overhead, opening the chest towards the ceiling. Bring the hands behind the back, clasping them together, pulling the hands down to open the chest a bit more, bringing the gaze up towards the ceiling. And coming back to vertical, bring the hands back to heart center. We're going to bend this back knee down and press back up. So your front knee does bend, but I'm always harping on about our joints. This is a really good example. You don't want to focus on the front knee. Focus on bending the back knee, and that's going to keep the front knee over the ankle. If you think about bending the front knee, most people end up tracking forward, and I want you to go straight down and straight up. 2 more times. The last one, coming back up to that high lunge, pushing that heel away. Once again, extending the arms upwards, and this time twisting. So stay nice and lifted. Twist towards the right. Right arm extends behind, the left arm extends forward. Can you bend even a little bit more deeply in that right knee? We're going to bring the left hand down to the mat or to a block. If you don't reach the mat, just place a block there. Turn the head to look up towards the right hand in this extended twist. Deep inhale. Long exhale. And then bring that left hand to the inside of the right foot. Place the right hand down next to it so you're squaring off the right foot. Step the right foot back, coming to plank. Once again, as slowly as you can, lower down towards the mat. When you're hovering just above the mat, flip the toes. Push yourself up to your up dog, pausing here for a moment. Pulling the shoulders back. Again, trying not to lock the elbows, lifting up through the chest, pulling back the shoulders, and stretching the legs behind you so you're not dropping into your hips. It's really active. And then curl the toes under, push yourself back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And now extend the left leg up. Pushing that left leg towards the ceiling, left heel towards the ceiling. So again, the more you lift, you'll tend to kind of start tilting over to the right. Keep your hips square, so that means you extend your leg less high in the air, so be it. And then hinging forward, knee to chest, hover over the hands, and extend back up. And again, hovering over the hands, and extend back up. You can exhale one direction, inhale the other, kind of your choice. No one is better than the other. This time swing forward, plant it down, rising up into your high lunge on this side. Again, pressing through that back heel, nicely lifted, knee over ankle, shoulders down and back. Think about that focal point, your drishti in front of you. Bring your eyes to it. Extending the arms up overhead, lengthening, growing taller through the spine like someone's pulling you up from that thread from the crown of your head, bringing the hands behind the back, clasping them together, opening the chest towards the ceiling. And then bringing the hands forward, hands at heart center. Again, bending the back knee down. We're dipping down and pressing up. Find that focal point in front of you. Keep your eyes on it. It will help you stay balanced. And 3, 2, last one, pressing up, high lunge. Extending the arms up overhead, driving through that back right heel. And then now twist to the opposite direction. Left arm back, right arm forward. We're staying nice and lifted. Nice deep bend in the front knee while pushing away with the back heel. And then bring the right hand down to the outside of the left foot. Again, it can find a block. Turning the left hand towards the ceiling or the gaze towards the ceiling. At the left hand, which is reaching up. Taking a deep breath. And then again, moving that right hand to the other side so the left hand has a home. Step the left foot back. Plank position. Slowly lowering down, hovering just above the mat. Flip the toes, pressing up, upward facing dog again, holding here for a moment, contracting the glutes. So it's like you're stretching your toes away, like someone's pulling your toes, and pulling the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. So we're not dropping in our hips. I see that a lot. It's really active. Curling the toes under, push yourself back. Downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Extend the right leg up, bend the right knee, dropping the right foot towards the left, stacking right hip on top of left. Pausing here, feeling that hip opening stretch. Inhaling and exhaling. And then option to flip your dog, bringing that right foot all the way down. Stretch the left leg long, push the hips up, open up the chest, reaching that right hand back behind you. Inhale, exhale. And then flip back around once again. Find that three-legged downward facing dog. Swing the right foot all the way forward, planting it down, pivoting the left foot, coming to your warrior one. Hips are forward, both hips are square forward, chest is lifting, pressing into the pinky edge of your back foot. Just as we did before, bringing hands behind the back, clasp them together, opening towards the ceiling, and now folding over in your humble warrior, arms stretching overhead, giving yourself a shoulder stretch. And coming back up, warrior one, reverse your warrior, left arm goes behind your back, palm flips up on the right hand as we look up towards the ceiling, keep driving forward, bending the right knee. And then cartwheel that hand down to the mat, come to a runner's lunge, pausing here for a moment, pushing the left heel away, and another twist, keeping the left hand in the mat, turn to the right, open the right hand towards the ceiling, looking up. Next exhale, hand finds the mat. Step the right foot back. This time we're going to do 3 push-ups. So from toes or dropping to knees, lowering down, chest, chin, and hips, and press back up. And 2, elbows bend to 90 degrees. And 3, this time lowering down, hover in your chaturanga, flip those toes under, push yourself up, up dog, curl the toes under, press back, down dog. Heels towards the mat. Inhale, exhale. Extending the left leg up overhead, bend the left knee, drop it to the opposite side. So now you're stacking left hip on top of right. You should feel this opening up through the hip flexor. And when you're ready, flip that over, left foot finds the mat, right foot extends out, lifting up, gazing back to your left hand. Inhale, exhale. And when you're ready, flipping back over, left leg extends up, swings forward, plants, pivoting the right foot, rising up to your warrior one. Hips forward, chest forward, gaze forward. Growing tall. And then hands behind the back, opening the chest towards the ceiling. Folding forward in your humble warrior. Reaching the arms overhead. Rising back up, reversing the warrior, right hand behind the back, left palm flips up. As you bring the gaze up, keep driving forward, bending that front knee, breathing into the side body. And then cartwheel down towards the mat, pivoting the back foot, finding your runner's lunge. Pivoting, right hand stays on the mat, left arm extends up, gazing towards the ceiling. And placing that hand down, stepping the left foot back, 3 push-ups. Exhale to press up. Inhale down, exhale up. Last time. This time lower down, hover, flip your toes, pressing up to your up dog, pressing back to your down dog. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. So you end up on the back of your mat, head hanging over, grabbing hold of opposite elbows. Give yourself a little bounce, a little shake. Releasing any kinks you've got going on there. And then release the arms, bend the knees, and roll yourself up. 1 vertebra at a time. Deep inhale, extending the arms upwards. And exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. I just need a sip of water very quickly. Water asana. Okay. Hands at heart center. We are going to keep our weight in our right foot. We're going to lift our left foot. So we're holding here at about parallel to the mat. Good. Extend that leg. Bend it back in. Extend and bend. You might find you drop it a little bit lower. That's okay. Extend and bend. 2 more. Last one. Now extend it out and step forward onto it. High lunge. Did you catch your balance? Good. Pivot this into a warrior one. So plant the back foot. Go ahead and bring those arms up overhead. Open this up, warrior two. Shoot that left arm forward. Pull the shoulder blades together. Nice deep bend in the left knee. Opening up through the hips here. And we're going to move through our side angle bend and our reverse warrior. So arm comes to the thigh as we stretch overhead. Side angle bend. Reversing the warrior. Right hand behind the back. And side angle bend on the exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale. Reverse warrior. Last time. Side angle bend. And reverse warrior. And then come to side angle bend, and we're going to hold that. So your option, if you stay here with the arm on the thigh, if you bring that hand down to the mat, or even better to a block sometimes, or if you want to bind, but you'll notice My hips are stacked, my shoulders are stacked. It's like I'm pressed between two panes of glass, and I can turn my gaze and look towards the ceiling. So if you're not here, it's better to be up on your thigh, keeping this nice open position. Your chest and back should not be rounded over here. And then rotate that around into that high lunge, pushing back through that right heel again. And stepping that foot back. Press up, downward facing dog. Coming back to plank. And lowering down, chaturanga. Flip the feet, pressing up, upward facing dog. Curling the toes under, pressing back, downward facing dog. Walking the hands back towards the feet again, letting yourself hang over. Releasing into that and letting yourself shake for a moment. Bending the knees, dropping the hips, rolling all the way up. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Bring the left or the right leg up, balancing on the left leg, right leg up. Thigh more or less parallel to the floor. Find the focal point in front of you. Extend the leg and bend. So we're not kicking, it's just an extension. 3 and 2. The last one. This time extend, step forward, high lunge. Pivot the back foot, extend the arms, chest and hips stay the same, facing forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Keep your gaze exactly where it is as you open this up, Virabhadrasana 2. Stay nice and lifted so we're not hinging forward, we're right in the center of our body. Side angle bend, right arm finds the thigh, stretching over, reversing that warrior. Nice and flowy and smooth. Side angle bend, reverse warrior. Not necessarily moving at the exact same pace as I am. After your third complete cycle, find that side angle bend. So again, here is great. Chest is open. Deep bend in the knee. The deeper the bend in the knee, the more likely you are to be able to bring that hand down and notice that my torso didn't change. And then if you're there, you might find you can bind. But again, chest is lifted and open, shoulders are back. Deep bend in that knee is going to help you get there. And pivoting over, bringing the hands to the mat, runner's lunge. Step the right foot back, push up, downward facing dog. Come back out to plank, lowering down, chaturanga, flipping the feet, pressing yourself up, up dog. Curl the toes under, push yourself back, down dog. From here, coming back to plank, hovering in plank, lift the right foot off the mat, and let's do little lifts and lowers. So you don't actually touch the mat, you're just lifting the heel towards the ceiling, keeping that leg extended for 3, 2, and 1. Keep it lifted. Chaturanga on one leg. Can you push back up to your push-up position? Place that foot down. Left leg lifts, lift and lower. Nice and slow and steady. Keep the leg lifted. Push up, down, hover above the mat, and press back up. Place that foot down, drop to the knees, and give yourself a stretch back on your heels in child's pose. Pause there for a moment. Good, pressing back up, curl those toes under, push up and back, downward facing dog. This time walking your feet towards your hands, letting yourself hang over. Bending the knees, rolling yourself all the way up, coming to standing. We're going to do a half moon posture this next round. So if you like to have a block handy for that, go ahead and do that. It makes our life a little bit easier, one finds. All right, stand up nice and tall. We're going to come to chair, Utkatasana. So bending the knees, extending the arms, pushing the hips back, pull the shoulders down and back. Good. Bring the hands actually to an 11. So we're going to transition this to eagle pose. So bring the arms in front of you in a number 11. Cross the right arm over the left, and then you can grab your shoulders if you'd like. You can start to wrap your hands, your arms, and bring them back to back. Or if you can, you wrap them all the way around, palm to palm. Lift the shoulders up, push the hands away, giving yourself a stretch. From here, shift into your right leg and wrap that left foot around as much as you want. Maybe it just kickstands on the other side. Maybe it wraps all the way around. Sitting low, but chest is still lifted. We're not bending over. Pushing the hips back. Make sure the elbows are lifted. Make sure the hands are pressing away so you get that stretch in your back. And you're gazing beyond your hands out in front of you. From here, we're going to unwrap our leg and shoot it behind us as we hinge forward into a variation of a warrior 3. Undo your hands and bring your fists behind you and see if you can find reverse prayer. You can do fist to fist or see if you can find reverse prayer. Push that left heel away, really extending from the crown of your head out through the heel. Taking a couple of breaths. And then step that foot down, but fairly close to you. Not super far away because we're all set up for pyramid. We're going to hinge forward. Keep your hips square, so keep pulling the left hip forward, the right hip back. As you hinge forward, bringing yourself just parallel to the floor, no further. Maybe you don't go quite that far. Gaze is out in front of your right toe. Back is elongated. See if you can flatten out the top of your back. Imagine I come and I put my hands right in between your shoulder blades. What would that feel like? What would that make your back do? And press yourself up. From here, extend the arms up. Open out. We're going to find triangle. So I need to walk my feet out a little bit. Back foot is at an angle. Front foot is towards the front of the mat. Chest and hips are turning towards the long end of your mat. And your gaze is still at that dristy point in front of you. From here, hinge forward, reaching with that front arm. Look up towards the ceiling as that right arm comes down and dangles in front of you, and the left arm comes up towards the ceiling, and you use that to rotate your body to look at it. So the torso is long, not rounded over. Hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Press back up, reverse that triangle. Left hand goes behind the back. Right arm comes up overhead. Taking a deep breath into the right side body. And now we're going to take this to that half moon. So we're going to bend that front knee to let the hand find the block or maybe a mat, the mat if it wants to find the mat. Lift up the left leg, the left arm, and as much as you can, begin to open that torso towards the ceiling. Not towards the ceiling. Your gaze towards the ceiling. The torso just in front of you. Holding here for 3, for 2, for 1. Pressing yourself back up. Find warrior 1. So you pivot back around front. Arms extend up overhead. And then we find the mat. Hands to the mat. Step the right foot back. Plank position. We'll do 3 push-ups, lowering down. Exhale to press up. And 2. Last 1. Push up. Come all the way back. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees and hop both feet forward to the top of the mat. Letting your head release down. Bending the knees, rise up into chair. Arms extend, hips push back. Toes on the mat, heels over the ankles. Bring those arms into the number 11 position again. Cross the left arm over the right. Wrap the arms around as much as you want. Again, they can just go to shoulders. Once you're there, lift the elbows, push the hands away, sit a little bit lower. Shift your weight into your left foot. Cross the right leg around, coming to your eagle on this side. Keep lifting the elbows, keep pushing the hands away. Sit nice and low. Take a couple of breaths. And then unwrap your foot as you straighten your left leg, hinging forward, right leg pushes behind you. Transition your hands either fist to fist or reverse prayer. Push the heel away. Imagine someone's pulling your head. Long spine. And a hand presses gently between your shoulder blades. And then step that right foot right behind you, coming to pyramid. Hips are forward, chest is lifted. Hands in reverse prayer. Leading with the chest. Again, think about pulling the right hip forward and the left hip back. That's going to keep you square. Otherwise, what you'll find is you end up really rotated. Gazing on the floor in front of you. Feeling the stretch through the hamstrings. Good. Press yourself up, extending the arms up. Open this out, stepping the back foot back if you need to set up for Trikonasana on this side. Left foot pointing forward, right foot at an angle. Left heel right about in line with the arch of the back foot. Gaze is forward. And then you hinge forward like you're trying to reach that wall in front of you. Let the left arm come down. Let the right arm come up, turning and looking towards the ceiling. Notice I don't say put the left hand on the floor. Let it hang free. I want your chest to be long here, your spine to be long, and your ribs to be straight. Basically, the distance between hip and armpit should be the same on both sides. And if you go all the way to the floor, for most of us, we collapse onto that left side. Inhale, exhale. Next time you inhale, come up, reversing the triangle, right arm behind the back, left arm up, looking towards the ceiling. And now our half moon on this side. So, bending forward, launching onto the left foot, finding the floor or a block. Opening the body towards that left side, stacking shoulders, stacking hips, pushing the left heel away. Maybe turning your gaze to look towards the ceiling if you're stable enough to do so. Whoop, I almost fell over. Clearly I was not. And when you're ready, transitioning this to Virabhadrasana 1. Back foot plants down. Arms extend up, hips forward, chest open. And then hinging forward, hands find the mat. Left foot steps back, 3 push-ups. 3, 2, and 1. But notice I'm skipping the chaturangas. Press back, downward facing dog. Taking a breath, press into the hands. Make sure you're still rolling shoulders down and back. Bending the knees, hopping forward to the top of the mat. Keep the hands at heart center, but come up into chair. Utkatasana, go with arms, hands at heart center instead of arms extended. Bring your toes fairly close together, your knees either touching or very close to touching. Sit as low as you can in your hips, but keep the chest lifted. We're going to twist right elbow to left thigh. Pause there, keep twisting towards the ceiling. Sit lower in the hips, and then if it's accessible, let that left arm slide down your leg as you keep turning towards the ceiling. So you really get a nice twist. Hands stay at heart center. Breathing here. If you want, bring the right hand to the floor, outside of your left foot. Left arm extends, looking up at it. And then bring both hands to the floor, squaring off your feet, bending your knees, hopping back to plank. Lowering down, chaturanga. Up dog and down dog. Heels pressing to the mat, shoulders away from the ears. Taking a breath. Bending the knees, hop forward. Same thing on the other side. Utkatasana, hands at heart center. Sitting low, bring your toes together. Bring your knees together. Push the hips back. As low as you can, then turn towards the left, left elbow on the thigh, keep turning. See if you can drop the hips more, then let that left elbow slide down as you gaze up towards the ceiling, hands at heart center, not the right armpit. And then if you want, left hand to the floor, right arm extends, turning towards that right hand. And then rotating forward, both hands to the mat, bend the knees, hopping back to plank, and just hold plank. Squeezing the glutes, squeezing the abs. Elbows facing in. Take a couple breaths here. Bring the right hand to the center of the mat, pivoting to a side plank on the right. So you can either drop your right knee, you can stack your right feet, it's the hardest, or one foot in front of the other will be a little easier. Right knee drop down will be easier. Option to extend the arm overhead, or you can stretch it along the side of your head. Keep pushing the hips up. Feel that stretch through your side body. And then rotate this around, finding plank, walk that left hand out again. Inhale, exhale. Walk the left hand to the center of the mat. Option to drop to the left knee. Option to have one foot in front of the other, or stack both feet, arms straight up, or reaching overhead. Push the hips up. And rotating down, hand finds the mat, plank. Can you lower all the way down and hover in your chaturanga? And then release that all the way down, hands under the shoulders, extend the legs behind you, and just press up to a cobra. Shoulders pulling down and away, glutes contracted. Lowering that down, curl the toes under, or sorry, don't curl the toes under, just push up and back to child's pose. Sitting back on the heels, head dropping towards the mat. Coming on up, swinging the legs forward. Whew. So hopefully that demonstrated to you that you don't have to move super fast to get a good workout. Or at least I felt like I got a workout. I'm sweating. Okay, I'm also on a crooked mat, getting closer and closer to the wall. Okay, extend your legs out in front of you. Flexing the feet, sit up nice and tall, lift those arms overhead. Again, like someone's pulling you up by the crown of your head. And then extend forward, release the arms, release the head, release the back, give yourself a stretch. As always, option to hold on to ankles or calves or toes or feet. Whatever feels good, whatever you can reach to pull you a little bit closer. And bringing yourself up. Hands right under shoulders. So I'm going to bring you into full plank, reverse plank. But if it doesn't work, I'll show you how to modify it into your tabletop position. So stretching your toes, pointing your toes away. They're going to try to find the mat. Fingertips are pointing towards the feet. Pull the shoulders down and away from your ears. Open your chest. Pull the shoulders back to start. And then push into your hands, push into your heels, and see if you can lift yourself up. Push the hips up. If you are here, you don't want to be here. Not a great position for your shoulders to be in. So just walk your feet in, push the hips up to here. I advise everyone to keep your head lifted so you're looking down your body rather than letting your head drop back, which is not great on your neck. But if it's okay for you, go ahead and drop the head back. I do not do that. If your legs are extended, you're trying to press the toes towards the mat. Everyone's trying to pull shoulders back. This is a great one for opening up your chest, your shoulders, improving your posture. We all tend to round our shoulders over these days. Can you hold it for 3, for 2, for 1, and release that all the way down. Excellent. Bring the right leg up, cross it over the left, sit up nice and tall, twisting, hugging that left knee, right hand behind the body, opening that right shoulder back. And if you want, you can bring that left arm all the way over, deepening the twist. Coming back to center, grabbing your hand, or your foot, the arch of your foot cradling in your hands. Extend the leg as much as you can. It will not be all the way for a lot of people. If you can straighten it, cool, but see if you can still sit up tall while you're doing it. You're not like doing something like that. Go ahead and keep the leg bent, or walk the hands further down the leg if that facilitates you holding it there. And then bend that knee and go ahead and cradle your leg and your arm and give it a little rock, opening up your hip. You know, it's feeling really flexible. You can put this foot behind your head. I say you because I cannot. And extend that leg. Cross the left leg over the right. Sitting up nice and tall, twisting towards the left, hugging that left knee. Left hand just as light behind you. You're not like leaning way back into it. Just a little kickstand. And then if you want, the right arm comes all the way over the thigh. You want the spine to be tall and just twisted. The more you lean back, the less twist you get. Take a couple of deep breaths into that twisted spine. And release yourself back to center. Once again, grabbing the arch of your foot. So just extend your leg. Maybe it's to here, or maybe you walk the hand down because you want to come to here. So you decide what works for you based on your flexibility, based on your limb length. I have longer arms than I should. They're disproportionately long for my body. So I think that's why I can do this. My legs are long too, but my arms still shouldn't be as long as they are. I'm like a little monkey girl. Good, go ahead and release that down. One more time, extend up, really hinge forward with a long, straight spine, flat back. As you reach forward, reach forward, reach forward until you can't do so anymore, and then release down. And bringing yourself up, bending your knees, planting your feet on the floor, extending your arms out in front of you, hinging back into our modification of our boat. So belly is in, chest is lifted, shoulders are down and back. So this is a dynamic abdominal exercise that has a couple of variations. So you can do them with me. We'll start at the easier ones and go to the harder ones, and you just do what one works for you. So easier, we're going to pull the belly button as we roll down, tap our shoulder blades down, exhale, and just pull back up. Lowering down, and pull back up. Slightly more challenging than this, as we lower down, we'll let the legs lift off the mat, come into a low boat, and then place the feet down to pull ourselves back up. Lower down, legs extend, and pull back up, feet find the mat. Most challenging is going to be legs and tabletop. We're going to come out to that low boat, and then pull back up, legs and tabletop. Extend out. So the shoulder blades don't touch the mat. It's the low back and the upper back. And the legs lower as much as you want them to challenge yourself, but you definitely want that low back pressing into the mat. If the low back is arching, you've got to bring those legs up higher to protect yourself. Let's do 3 more. Extend and pull in, and extend and lift. Extend, hold it here. Grab the right leg, pull it in towards your body, giving yourself a stretch. Lower the left leg down as low as you want. Holding here, so it's like Pilates single leg stretch, but frozen. Point and flex your right foot a few times. Give yourself a stretch there. Release that, let your legs meet again. Pull back up and extend out. And 3 and 2. Last one, extend out, bring the left leg up this time, lower the right leg down. Pull that left leg into the body. Point and flex your left foot a few times. Release it, let the legs meet, and pull back up for 3, extend, and 2, extend. Last one, raise the arms up, And we're going to toe tap down. Right foot down, left foot down. Right foot down, left foot down. You could modify, bringing the hands to heart center. Keeping them extended is a little bit harder. And 3. And 2. Last one. Extend out, low boat. Keep your head lifted. Bring your hands behind your head. Lift your legs straight up from your hips. Point the toes and crisscross them. Legs crossing in and out. In and out. You can definitely lower these down if your abs are completely burnt out. The more you lower the legs towards the horizon, the harder it is. You can also release your head onto the mat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that down. Hug your knees into your chest, giving yourself a rock. And we have time for a quick inversion. So your option, you can come up to shoulder bridge. You can put a block under you in shoulder bridge to support you. So this is our more modified, more gentle. Anyone with any contraindications against inversion should not do that. Next option is going to be to have your legs straight up, sacrum resting on the block. And those of you who want to come up to shoulder stand can. You can have your hands supporting you on your hips, on your waist, or you can let the arms go along the mat. Your option. We won't stay here super long. You could go against the wall, but I feel like by the time you get there, it'll be time to go. So I would do another one of these options instead. You could do the shoulder bridge without the blocks. It's just harder. You have to work more, but that's okay. You're still inverted. Take some nice deep breaths here. If you're in shoulder stand, go ahead and release down into plow for a moment. Let those legs come back behind you in your halasana. If you have a block under you, remove it, and everybody lower down. Bring your hands under your body. Hug your knees to your chest for a moment. As you place your hands under you, they're going to be stretching out towards your toes. Extend your legs so your hands are underneath your legs. Roll your shoulders under your body, opening up your chest. You can stay here in a modified version of the fish, or you can come up onto your forearms, releasing your head back. Make sure it touches the mat, that it's not dangling in space. Opening shoulder and throat. Taking a couple of deep breaths here in your fish. And releasing that, shaking out your arms and legs, wiggling your body, letting yourself come to a place of comfort on the mat, shoulders down away from the ears, chin towards the chest, closing the eyes. Take a deep inhale through the nose and open your mouth and let it go. And then find yourself in your relaxation, your Savasana. Once again, watching the breath, watching it travel in through the nose, out through the nose, watching its journey through your body. With each breath, feeling yourself grow more and more relaxed. Notice the weight of your arms and your legs growing heavier on the mat. Allow any last bits of tension to drift out of your body. Any last bits of stress Exhale and bid it farewell. Allow the breath to deepen. Imagine breathing energy all the way down your legs and your arms, to your feet, to your hands. Imagine breathing all the way out the top of your head, recharging every cell in your body with energy, but with relaxation too. Begin to reawaken the muscles, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles, rolling your head from side to side. And then when you're ready, drawing your knees in towards your chest, rolling to one side. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up to that same seated position. We begin the klasan. Finding yourself once again sitting tall, but relaxed. As you exhale, notice if there's any tension in your jaw or your cheeks or your neck or your shoulders, and let it go. And as we did at the beginning, take a glance over your body, noticing your state of physical presence, your mental awareness, your emotional state. Come back to that intention. If you chose to honor an emotion, notice if you managed to feel that emotion. Are you able to notice the gratitude, the joy, but without judgment? Just awareness. Take one final inhale as you extend your arms up overhead, pressing the palms together. Open your mouth and let it go as you bring your hands down to heart center. Letting the practice go. Just like we leave our life off the mat when we step onto it, you can leave aspects of your practice on the mat when you step off of it. Take with you what you need. Take the relaxation, take the energy. But if for some reason you felt like something didn't work, leave that behind. Leave any judgment. Leave anything that won't serve you. Taking with you all the positivity. Om Shanti Om. I wish you peace. Namaste.